The tragic death of Princess Diana in a car accident has always been shrouded in mystery, but recent revelations have sent shockwaves through the world. Authorities are now re-examining sensational claims suggesting that Diana was murdered by the British government. These startling allegations have caused a ripple effect within the royal family, as several members begin to openly defy tradition, visibly distressed, and choose their own paths. This new wave of tension has brought back long-buried secrets, especially regarding Diana herself. Her life and her enigmatic death continue to haunt the royal saga. Now, with these fresh revelations, the question arises: what other hidden truths might be exposed next? Stay tuned as we delve into the mysteries that have long been kept hidden. Over the past few years, many intriguing stories about the British royal family have surfaced, revealing ongoing conflicts behind palace doors. Several royals seem increasingly dissatisfied with their lives and are starting to walk their own paths. In the midst of this, an unexpected revelation from decades ago has surfaced, shared by someone once close to the royal family. This new information has reignited conversations about Princess Diana's untimely death. As tensions rise, an old letter from Diana has resurfaced, hinting at a secret that could rock the monarchy to its core. Reflecting on her life, Diana Spencer, born on the 1st of July, 1961, came from a noble family known for its quiet and reserved nature. Her first encounter with Prince Charles occurred through her older sister, Lady Sarah Spencer, who had briefly dated Charles in the late 1970s. However, after openly stating she wouldn't marry him despite his royal status, Sarah's breakup with Charles eventually paved the way for Diana to meet him. In 1980, Diana, just 19 years old, began a relationship with a 32-year-old prince. Despite the significant age gap, their romance captivated the world. However, Diana was uneasy from the beginning. Her insecurities grew as she realized that Charles still had lingering feelings for his ex-girlfriend, Camilla Parker Bowles. Diana later admitted to feeling uncertain about Charles's commitment to her, especially after hearing him express his love for Camilla to a friend, saying he would always love her. Despite these doubts, Diana pushed them aside due to the pressure from the royal family and her own lack of experience. On the 29th of July, 1981, the grand wedding between Charles and Diana took place at St. Paul's Cathedral in London, dubbed the Wedding of the Century. With an audience of around 750 million viewers, the ceremony was a spectacle of elegance and royal grandeur. Diana wore a breathtaking ivory silk gown with a 25-foot train designed by David and Elizabeth Emanuel. Over 3,500 guests, including world leaders and celebrities, attended, yet the beauty of the event couldn't hide the cracks forming in their marriage. It wasn't long before the public learned that Charles remained involved with Camilla, a reality that caused Diana immense pain. As the public saw their marriage as a fairy tale, the truth was much darker. Diana felt neglected, lonely, and overshadowed by Camilla. Even before their marriage officially began, she sensed the presence of her husband's ex in their relationship. As Diana continued to grapple with the painful reality of her marriage, her struggles became widely known. In a famous 1995 interview with the BBC's Panorama, Diana spoke openly about the intense strain on her relationship with Charles. She revealed how she often felt ignored, desperate for his affection but rarely receiving it. One heartbreaking moment occurred while she was pregnant with their first child, Prince William. In an attempt to get Charles's attention, she threw herself down the stairs at Sandringham, hoping he would show concern. Tragically, he barely reacted, a moment that highlighted just how isolated she felt in their marriage. Despite her emotional struggles, Diana never stopped trying to make their marriage work, while also finding solace in her public duties. Her humanitarian efforts earned her worldwide admiration and respect, and she began to shine as the people's princess. However, this did not ease her personal pain. In 1992, Charles and Diana separated, and by 1996, they officially divorced. Throughout this period, Diana faced immense public and private pressure. She often spoke about her efforts to save their marriage, but Charles's deep connection with Camilla made reconciliation impossible. When their divorce was finalized, Diana came to terms with the fact that she could never win Charles's heart. This rocky chapter in her life left lasting emotional scars, but also fostered her growth into a more resilient and independent woman. By this point, Diana had shifted her focus to raising her sons, Prince William and Prince Harry, while continuing her charity work. Her public image as a compassionate, down-to-earth princess endeared her to millions across the globe. However, on the 31st of August, 1997, her life was tragically cut short. Diana and her companion, Dodi Fade, were staying at the Ritz Hotel in Paris when they tried to leave quietly, hoping to avoid the throngs of paparazzi that had followed them. Unfortunately, their attempt at privacy would lead to disaster. As they tried to escape the paparazzi, the car they were riding in, driven by Henry Paul, the temporary head of security at the Ritz, crashed into a pillar in the Alma Tunnel. The accident resulted in the instant deaths of Dodi Fade and Henry Paul, while Diana was critically injured, but still alive. Despite the efforts of emergency responders, she passed away hours later at the hospital. Her bodyguard, Trevor Rees-Jones, survived but suffered severe injuries. The investigation that followed brought even more shocking revelations. Authorities found that Henry Paul had been drinking heavily, with his blood alcohol level 3 times over the legal limit. Additionally, none of the passengers except for Rees-Jones had been wearing seat belts, further reducing their chances of surviving the crash. Diana's death stunned the world. While she was admired for her beauty and elegance, it was her kindness, her humanitarian work, and her ability to relate to ordinary people that made her beloved. Millions mourned her loss, deeply saddened by the sudden, untimely death of the Princess of Wales. The sudden loss of such a compassionate person sparked not only deep sorrow but also anger, particularly aimed at the paparazzi, who are often blamed for invading her privacy. This tragic event prompted important discussions about how public figures should be treated and how journalism needs to be more responsible. Yet, despite these conversations, the world continued to grieve over her untimely death. One of the people hit hardest was her butler, Paul Burrell, who had worked for her for over a decade. Their relationship evolved into much more than just employer and employee. Burrell, a young man from a working-class family in Derbyshire, England, had dreamed of working for the royal family ever since he witnessed the changing of the guard at Buckingham Palace as a child. At 18, that dream became a reality when he was hired as a footman for Queen Elizabeth II. His work ethic and professionalism quickly impressed, and by 1987 he became the Queen's personal footman. His role continued to expand, especially after the separation of Queen Elizabeth and Prince Charles in 1992, with Burrell focusing more on supporting the Queen. Eventually, he became her butler and personal assistant, managing her household and traveling with her on various trips. As their bond grew stronger, Burrell wasn't just an employee, became one of her most trusted friends, offering support during her toughest times. He admired her for her compassion and her commitment to helping others. When news of her death reached him, it was devastating. The loss struck him deeply, showing just how personal their connection had become. But with the world mourning, hidden struggles and legal battles began to surface. Burrell was in Italy on vacation when he received the news, and the grief that followed overwhelmed him. Years later, he often wondered if he could have done something to prevent her tragic death that fateful night. After her passing, Burrell became an important figure in preserving her memory. He authored books like A Royal Duty and The Way We Were, which detailed their close relationship. While his decision to share personal stories drew criticism, especially from the royal family, Burrell defended his actions, saying he was loyal to her and that the public deserved to know the truth about her life. For Burrell, her death wasn't just a professional loss, it was a personal one. She wasn't just a princess to him, she was a close friend. Her sudden passing marked a turning point in his life, and he felt a deep responsibility to keep her memory alive. However, his connection to her story wasn't over. In 2002, Burrell found himself at the center of a legal battle. He was accused of stealing over 30,000 items from Diana's estate, including personal letters, photographs, clothing, and valuable gifts. These accusations came after police discovered many of these items in his home. Burrell was arrested and charged with theft, facing the possibility of a long prison sentence. The media circus surrounding the case grew intense, with questions about his motives and intentions. Burrell maintained his innocence, insisting that Diana had entrusted him with these items before her death, fearing they might be misused. His defense was weak at first due to the lack of proof, but then an unexpected turn of events occurred. Queen Elizabeth II revealed that Burrell had told her about holding onto Diana's personal belongings, which changed everything. The Queen confirmed she had no issues with Burrell keeping them, and as a result, the charges were dropped. Despite his acquittal, Burrell's reputation was damaged. Media attention focused heavily on the royal family's inner workings, and the case raised questions about how such matters involving royal staff were handled. After the trial, Burrell remained vocal, sharing more about his time with Diana. He claimed that in the months before her death, Diana had expressed fears for her safety, even writing him a letter stating she believed a car accident was being planned to end her life. These statements reignited public speculation about the circumstances surrounding her death, even as an official investigation had concluded it was a tragic accident caused by her driver's mistakes and the paparazzi chasing them. Though many continued to see Diana's death as a tragic accident, Burrell's claims kept the debate alive. His allegations about a possible conspiracy to kill her raised doubts, keeping the mystery surrounding that fateful night at the Ponte de Alma tunnel alive in the public's mind. Regardless of the cause of her death, Diana is remembered for her incredible compassion and tireless efforts to help those in need. One of her most significant moments came in 1987 when, at the height of the AIDS crisis, she shook hands with an AIDS patient without gloves, challenging misconceptions about how the disease spread. She continued to use her platform to raise awareness for causes like landmine removal, famously walking through an active minefield in Angola in 1997. Her efforts played a major role in the signing of the Ottawa Treaty, which banned the use of landmines. Diana's legacy lives on, not just through her humanitarian work but through the way she changed perceptions about important global issues. Her acts of kindness and courage continue to inspire people worldwide, reminding us all of the power of compassion. What do you think was Princess Diana's most impactful moment? Feel free to share your thoughts below, and don't forget to subscribe for more discussions on historical figures.